Great. Okay. Call to order the City of Binghamton Examining Board of Electricians meeting for August 2nd, 2023. In attendance, we have Tom McIntosh, Tim O'Neill, Bill Emmons, and Chris Schleider. First order of business was to review the notes from previous meetings, but we don't have meetings in July or June. Summertime schedule meant that there wasn't much to be discussed, and then the meetings from May, the notes from May. I don't know if we discussed anything. That's probably why we didn't come in June and July. There wasn't anything on there. Oh, we talked about Jeremy's position. We talked about the possibility of eliminating that position or reducing it to a part-time status. We're all going to think about that and see how we felt about third-party inspection companies. So that was the notes. Make a motion to move, what do we say? Move the notes into the record.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that was the last thing we talked about. So on this agenda, I guess we can jump right to that. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to think about it, but I've discussed it with HR and the administration, different members of the department. And I think what we would like to do is, and I even spoke with the previous director on what would be the best practices. And I think what we're going to do at this point is change the electrical inspector's position from a full-time position to a part-time position for two reasons. Part-time is more likely to get a qualified candidate who's willing to come in for a couple days. I think we haven't had any applications since Jeremy left, even with an increased salary, which tells me that anybody with those qualifications and the willingness to work 40 hours a week is working in the private sector. They're not coming here. But if we change to part-time, we might get a master electrician who's retired, but still willing to do some work.
Yep.
The second reason is it helps us retain some control over what goes on in the field, establishes a point of contact for the third-party inspectors, and gives us somebody who can do the administrative tasks of keeping the department organized with regards to electrical permits and inspections and certificates.
Yeah, I
So,
think that's a good choice.
Anybody want to make a motion to change that from
I'll make a motion.
pulled apart? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
What's the pay scale on that?
30 an hour.
30 an hour?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're looking at how many days?
It depends on somebody's willingness to work. I thought 2 would be
Okay.
sufficient.
Probably, yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
that's 14 hours a week. That's almost 450 a week.
Yeah.
It's a little bit
Yeah.
of income, gives us some control over the documents and the processes.
Put
and
it in
things
a
like
2 to
that.
3 day range
Yeah, yeah,
rather than keep them at 2.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, obviously it can't be 5, but it could be 3 for sure. Yep.
You have to have a lot of work to do, or a test or something he has to practice.
Exactly. Okay. Second order of business, we have 3 applications for the hands-on portion of the journey. Actually, the applications are for journeyman's licenses. They've taken the written test, they've submitted proof of experience. And if we are inclined to do so, we'll have to find a way to get a hands-on exam in place and proctored and help them get through that part of the process.
Yep.
Tom and Tim have already had a chance to take a look at these, as have I.
That looks good.
Bill looked at Lauren Hyde. Her credentials are from the Union Hall. It was a very complete application. I make a motion to approve
Second.
her application for hands-on test. Okay. So Lauren Hyde,
All in favor?
all in favor,
Aye.
and Bill, for the record, said that looks good, which is an affirmative response.
Yeah.
This one, they didn't have the notarized hours.
No, I was just looking at that. They didn't have the notarized hours on this one.
These guys really had called me earlier in the year asking about the opportunity for the hands-on portion. Since we hadn't put anything in place, I told them I'd let them know if we could put something together for a September test. when I realized that we're gonna be reviewing their applications at this meeting, I had them both kind of forward me their hours and their applications. So this guy didn't even have his application and he's mailing it. But I told him, send me, documents in the meantime. So neither one of them have notarized
Yep,
hours from their companies.
yep,
What I would propose for Matthew Duncan and for
Dylan,
Dylan Morgan is that we allow them to be scheduled for the hands-on portion, but the final application's approval to be a licensed journeyman will be pending. A notarized letter from their employer and a passing score for the hands-on test. But I don't
Right.
think we should preclude them from taking the hands-on portion at this point. There's no sense in scheduling one person. Let's schedule three. And
I think they could take it, but I think on, as far as this one, I
Right.
think it needs to have the hours broken down too. It just
Okay.
says has completed over 9,000 hours. It's like, well, how many
Okay.
hours a year? You know,
Okay, so
and that should be something fairly easy for them
Yeah.
to do and then notarize it.
Matt Duncan needs hours per year and notarized,
Yep,
and then Dylan Morgan,
he had
Needs-
the hours per
need-
year.
yeah, needs
He just missed the notary.
notarized. And if they provide that and pass the hands-on portion, then they will be eligible for licenses.
Right,
Last individual was Joel Schreiber, applying for the Master A. He has taken the written portion and showed us a passing score.
yeah, license, yeah. Well, he's all over the place.
Yeah, he is.
Holy
Yeah,
cow.
we don't even know if he's gonna be doing work here, if he just wants the license just in case.
Paper in a wall.
Right.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, he's good.
Okay, all in
I
favor,
would
Joel
approve.
Schreiber?
Hey,
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Schreiber's approved. We'll get his license out to him. All right, so we went over everything. The only thing we're at this point is, I was saying elect a board member to proctor the hands-on portion of journeyman's exam. Bill seems to think that we can get Calvin, the business agent for IBEW to assign that for
Yep.
us. Kevin McDevitt, at his last meeting also indicated that there would be somebody at the hall would be able to do that. So I'm going to call Amy Snell to schedule the exam for mid-September. We'll contact Calvin and see if we can get a proctor and what the compensation is going to be for that proctor. And then we'll arrange to get that financially squared away so that we can schedule these three people to take their hands-on portion. And that's how we'll proceed. If we have a part-time electrical inspector, we have third-party inspectors, doing the field work for us, then going forward, we'll do the hands-on as we did before, 3 times a year. I think it's September, May, and June. And as the applications come in, we'll hold them, review them, and when we have a testing location and a proctor established, then we'll just call that up every 4 months and when we have a group of applicants, we'll already have a system in place.
And I'll talk to Calvin about the inspector position. Cause I think going to part-time, you might have more people that,
Yeah, the union hall wouldn't post it as a full-time job and lose a good electrician.
Right.
They said they would post it for retirees, but
Yep.
part-time was probably more likely to catch
Yep.
an interested party. Okay, I think we got everything. Oh, wait, before we go, we have a gentleman who wanted to join us today from Texas. He had journeyman's license in Texas. If you want to come over and introduce yourself and give us a rundown of your experience and
Sure. My name is Mark George. I've been working in Texas. Previously, I got my license in Texas, which requires 8,000 hours.
that's your journeyman's license. in
That's
Texas?
right,
Okay.
journeyman's, it's a state license. So I had that, met all the requirements for that, passed the NEC written test, and then I was also in the IBEW at the time. I was there and I took the hands-on exam to be recognized as a journeyman there. And so I moved here in April of 21. And I been working as a traveler, the IBEW, recognized as a journeyman. And doing work mostly out of local 43. I've done maybe 1-2 jobs out of Binghamton's local, so
Okay,
Kelvin will probably recognize my name as well. I have those 8,000 hours as my license here stated. I have the card, but it says it's expired, so it's just renewed. This is just showing that it's active. These are my hours for this is the time, my work history from local 43, where I've done most of my work for the past 2 years
Okay.
out of Syracuse.
Okay.
For my work history. And then this last one here is my current position that I started in January of this year, and I'm currently working for them.
Okay.
And so what I'm looking to ask you guys is if these hours would be accepted, or if I need something further to document that, to be verifiable. And also, I tried going online to get an application, and I can't seem to find an application to fill
Well,
out.
if you come up to the office with us at the end of the meeting,
Okay.
we'll get you the application and the requirements.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so we see you had a license, you have worked for some companies that we're all familiar with, some of it out of state.
yep,
And you have a work experience certificate from,
That's my current position with Amoresco.
so your 8,000 hours, does that include the time that you've been working in 43, or is there more hours?
No, that's previous.
That's
So
previous.
all of those hours were in Texas.
Okay.
As an apprentice.
Yeah, because I think you gotta have what, 9,000?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But you've been here for over 2 years now, because you came in for April 21. So from 21 to 22, 22 to 23
So, yeah,
could conceivably be,
yes.
or,
And I have pay
Would be
stubs from all
full-time,
of my employers also, so
2,080
that's
hours a year.
something that
okay,
I can gather together to help.
it needs 1,000.
you might be able to contact the union hall, because they get, monthly payroll reports.
Yeah,
So they know what hours you've had when you're
Right.
working. And
right.
have you
so-
worked in 325 jurisdiction?
Yeah.
Sporadically?
Yeah, only a couple jobs.
Yeah,
I think the most I did was a few months,
right.
and
But you can probably get it from 43.
most of them 43. I asked him, and he said that that's what he could give me. But I probably can talk to somebody else maybe and dig further.
Yeah, I mean, I'll show you the requirements when we go upstairs. In the end, it does say that you,
They want to notarize.
yeah, it says that, you have to have, proof of hours, on a company letterhead or from the union hall, and they have to be signed, and that signature has to be notarized. And, here's just an example of, the 325. I mean,
Okay.
this person did not actually work for the union hall, but the
Hours.
union hall knows what hours
They
they
have a
worked.
list of hours.
Yeah.
And school hours.
So, I mean, it sounds like you have to potentially have what you need to get licensed here. You will have to get the hours somehow, whether it's from, it's gonna have to be from Texas and from, the local 43 and from 325. You'll have to compile all that together. Then you'll have to take the written exam through Pearson View.
Yeah.
And then you'll be eligible to take the hands-on portion here and get licenses journeyman and
Cool.
Binghamton,
Cool.
which covers Binghamton, Johnson City, Endicott, pretty much this greater Binghamton area. But that's, it sounds like you have what you need, but we have to go on verifiable, which means,
Documentation.
yeah,
And
notarized.
trying to notarize
Yeah.
all of that.
but just
Okay.
based on what you've shown us, there's a good chance that you will be able to get all that and bring
Yeah,
it to
it
us.
sounds good.
There's
No deadline, is whenever you get it. just send it in.
Send it in,
Yeah.
like just a physical copy.
Yeah,
Cause yeah, notarized. And so the hours I have this, a form, Texas required. And it's just a form, it was never they never required it, I don't think, to be notarized, though.
You can contact
those are
former
previous-
employers in Texas. If it was an apprenticeship program, you can contact,
If
that.
you're,
Yeah.
yeah, if you're through the IBEW, the easiest way would be to call the union hall where you
have
work.
those- Yeah,
And just like you saw in that one report, because that's the union, I'll send you so many hours this year, this year, this year.
and it's one sheet.
Yeah, and then you don't
one
have to
person's-
contact all the employers.
Yeah,
Just contact the union hall, see if
Sure.
they got enough hours that way.
yeah, because some of them might not even be, okay,
And you might have, let's say you have 6,000 hours verifiable in Texas, but you got another 2,000 out of 43, you know what I mean? Or, you know what
yeah,
I mean, 3,000,
right,
that would give you your 9,000.
yeah, as long as I can get 9,000,
How'd you get
I
9,000?
don't need
Yeah.
every hour, okay, excellent,
Right?
All right,
yeah,
So
so,
follow us up at the end of the meeting. We'll get you an application and the written requirements and
excellent,
I'll put it together.
I appreciate
All right.
that, thank you. guys.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Concluded. Thanks, Bob.
What?
Board meeting ever.
Yeah.